The Chicago Bears lose once again, this time to the Baltimore Ravens, 16-13. What is going on, y'all? Fox Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, my NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears, and I apologize for getting this recap video out to you guys late. I was traveling yesterday, so it was a little difficult for me to get the video out, and I wanted to, put the proper thoughts into it. Didn't want to rush anything, so I was like, you know what? Even if I gotta wait, I'm going to get it to you guys right, and you're going to hear everything that I need to hear. All right, so let's talk. Let's talk about this game. All right, the Chicago Bears lost this game 16-13, okay? They were up in this game late and still ended up losing. Before this game, I had made my prediction that the Bears would lose, and that was because Lamar Jackson, I thought, was going to play in this game. Now, he was out in this game late in the week, I think right before, with an illness. All right, so he was ruled out until Tyler Huntley was starting. If you had asked me right before the game started, when Lamar Jackson was out, if the Bears were going to win that game, I did go out and tweet that, by the way, follow me on Twitter, that the Bears should win this game. Now, they should. Lamar Jackson's out. That's a huge loss. Marquise Brown, the number one wide receiver for the Ravens, was out. So the quarterback number one, wide receiver number one, both out for the Ravens. You're at home, and you're going up against this injured team. You should win. And what happens? The Bears lose. They lose 16-13. All right, folks, look. Getting into the X's and O's of the game at this point in the season feels a little useless. I'll still do it from time to time, but I've been saying all season long, this season is not about wins or losses. It is about development. And in this game, obviously with Justin Fields, he got hurt. So his development was obviously stalled because he got hurt. Now, thankfully, it's not a serious injury. I believe he has bruised ribs is what I've read. The Bears have a short turnaround on Thanksgiving. They're playing against the Lions, I believe. And so it's going to be tough here to see if Justin Fields is going to be able to play. I don't want him to play. I don't. And I'm going to get to the negligence that the Bears have had with Justin Fields in just a second here. Don't you worry. But Justin Fields, thankfully, has just bruised ribs. And he did get hurt, so obviously you didn't get to see the development. And Andy Dalton came back in, played relatively well. But again, still the offense put up 13 points. And that is the point that I want to make here, folks, is this game should have sealed Matt Nagy's fate. This game should have done it. I mean, it is over at this point for Matt Nagy. Absolutely over for Matt Nagy. This was one of, if not the most embarrassing performance of the entire NFL season. By far. Okay? If you think about it, you lost to a backup quarterback in Tyler Huntley. And the team didn't have their wide receiver number one. And Matt Nagy, his offense only puts up 13 points. 13 points. It's not like, the Ravens offense put up like 30, 35 points, so you can blame the defense. They put up 16. So our defense still played decent, right? Decent. Didn't play great, but decent. You couldn't put up more than 13 points. This should seal it. This should seal it. And you know what's so frustrating is we literally could have had a full season with a new coaching staff already getting their legs under them. Instead, we just wasted a year with Matt Nagy. We just wasted a year with Matt Nagy. And folks, I thought, okay, McCaskey's would never do an in-season firing. I'm telling you right now, Matt Nagy deserves an in-season firing. He deserves one. It has been way too long of the same garbage. We need to clean house, and we need to get rid of Matt Nagy. All right? It's over. It's a wrap, right? Matt Nagy coming off a bye week in which you were supposed to have your team prepared. You have extra time off to study your opponent. A loss. 5 straight losses for the Chicago Bears. The longest losing streak in the NFL. He needs to go. He needs to go. I don't know if there's any Matt Nagy supporters out there that are still left, but if they are, you need to seek help. This man has shown that he is not willing to change. All right? His offense is broken. His offense is garbage. His offense is pathetic. And I get it. He might not be calling the plays as much because it's Bill Lazor. But get rid of the entire coaching staff. I'm not saying Bill Lazor's all that great and you can get him to stay. No. Now, we need to stop wasting our breath talking about firing Matt Nagy, and instead it should be about who's the next coach, because this should already be a set in stone. Matt Nagy, I'm here to tell you right now, is done after this season. And he should be done right now. They should fire him right now and look for the next head coach. Will that happen? I don't know, but he's done. He's done. I'm sorry. This was an embarrassing loss. And like I said, I could talk about the game and what happened, but what's the point? What's the point? All right? You should have won this game. You should have won this game. Absolutely, you should have won this game. And you know what? At this point, that's the best thing about Bears losses, is that it gets you a game closer to getting Matt Nagy fired. And so I think his fate is sealed after this one. I think, he had a perfect opportunity to get a backup quarterback here in the Ravens and potentially another backup in Tim Boyle for the Lions, who they play on Thanksgiving. And you could have reeled off two, easy wins against inferior opponents and kind of inflate your record. Couldn't even do that. It's one thing to not beat the teams that are better than you, but it's another thing to lose to the teams worse than you. I am done with Matt Nagy. I am done with this coaching staff. As far as Ryan Pace, whether he stays or goes, it's still up in the air. I feel like he's done a lot better, more for this team than Matt Nagy has. But Matt Nagy is just this plague on this team that I just needed to get over and done with. This reminds me of Gar and Pax. Gar and Pax did some good things in Chicago for years to come, but once their time was up, we needed to get rid of them and clean house and bring in a new front office with the Bulls. Same thing needs to happen with the Bears. Get rid of Matt Nagy. And let's talk about the malpractice negligence with Justin Fields, because Justin Fields getting hurt was probably the worst thing that's happened to the Bears this season. Now, again, thankfully, he's hopefully good and he won't be out that long. But, folks, Matt Nagy refuses to protect this man. And Justin Fields gets hurt way too much for my liking, and we need to protect him. We need to protect him. That's the worst thing that could happen right now. I need to get Justin Fields with the new coaching staff, because we need to stop getting Justin Fields hurt. He takes a lot of hits. He's a tough kid. He's a very, very tough kid, but we need to stop getting him hurt. He's our future franchise quarterback potentially. And I need to see more. And I need to see Justin Fields play the rest of these games. I don't want to see Andy Dalton play against the Lions. I don't want to see Andy Dalton the rest of the season. And if Justin Fields is hurt, that's what's going to happen. So a malpractice negligence on part of this coaching staff to not do everything in their power to protect Justin Fields, right? To have the tight ends get in the line and chip, to be able to have the offensive line get an extra guy in there. Whatever it is you need to do to not get this man killed, you don't do. I'm just done. I'm just done at this point. So you saw on the other side what happens when you have a real coach in John Harbaugh. That's the reason the Ravens won this game. They have a coach who actually knows what he's doing, makes in-game adjustments, knows his personnel, actually is able to be a competent coach and strategically think of the right plays to make and the right decisions to make. That's what happens when you got a guy like a John Harbaugh. Ravens won with a backup quarterback. Bears lose and get their starting quarterback hurt and lose at home. 5 straight. 5 straight. Matt Nagy looks broken. I saw the post-game interview. I think he knows his fate. It is what it is. It's a wrap. Now it's just a matter of when, not if, he is going to get fired. I hope it happens in season, but we'll see. If they lose to the Lions, that better happen. I'm telling you right now, if we lose to the Lions, it better happen in season. But that's where I'm at, folks. Look, nothing else matters at this point. It's time to get Matt Nagy canned. As far as good and bad things that I saw in this game, Darnell Mooney, you liked what you saw in terms of the numbers there, but he did have a lot of targets. Wanted a better game out of Cole Kmet. Robert Quinn's been looking great. Obviously, looking like he's deserving of the money we paid him, even though this production wasn't there last year. We saw life without A-Rob wasn't very good, right? Receiver help, we do need that. Offensive line help, we'd still need that. So overall, folks, again, there's things to do and fix, but the largest issue is get rid of this coaching staff and start fresh. Get rid of Matt Nagy, and then we'll worry about the rest later. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.